My name is Wilson Adam Schooley, and I'm chair of the American Bar Association's Civil Rights and Social Justice section. And I'm here to deliver some good news and some bad news, and I'm going to start with the bad news. I just learned when I arrived in San Francisco that Congressman John Lewis is unable to travel. The arrangements were all made, his flights were booked, he was set to come, but he's unable to make it. I know you are all very disappointed. Believe me, no one is more disappointed than me, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I can tell you that Congressman Lewis himself is at least as distraught as all of you about not being here. First, John Lewis is a man who shows up. He's been showing up for 60 years for the right reasons. He's a man you can depend on, you can count on. Everyone who's ever worked with him knows that. So if John Lewis says he's unable to be here, you can believe he is truly unable to be here. Second, I've met most of the honorees of the Thurgood Marshall Award over the years. I was on the committee that created this dinner and this award, and so I met the inaugural initial awardee, Justice Thurgood Marshall. And I have never met anyone as excited and thrilled to be honored as John Lewis. Every time I talked with him, every time I met with him, he was palpably, visibly thrilled that we had chosen him to be honored, and particularly that we were honoring him as the first non-lawyer ever to receive the Thurgood Marshall Award. So that's the bad news. The good news is we're doing the right thing. You and our section are doing the right thing by honoring John Lewis right now, right here today, at this point in his life and at this point in history. You have an opportunity tonight. You have an opportunity to make this one of the most memorable nights that he will have. Because believe me, he's watching. You'll see cameras. He's watching. So I want you to all please make sure that he feels the love. Make sure he feels your love for him tonight as we go through the evening. And the second part of it is he's not only watching, he will speak to you. Even at the last minute, even under these difficult circumstances, he recorded a video to speak to each of you personally and to tell you how grateful he is not only to receive the award, but for the work that the section of Civil Rights and Social Justice is doing, for the work the ABA is doing, and to express his regrets that he can't be here. And that will come soon. So we have that too. So we have lots of reasons to be grateful. I mean, the main thing is that this night is not about us, it's about him. It's about a chance to honor him in a way that he will remember and will mean so much to him, and a chance to honor him in a way that will inspire others to do the kind of good work that he has always done going forward. And finally, I want to say, well, actually, there's two things I want to say. I'll promise I'll stop talking because you don't want to hear from me. Another reason is, you know, because we're honoring John Lewis, and I would suspect maybe only because we're honoring John Lewis and who he is, you're going to hear later tonight from the extraordinary Rhiannon Giddens. Who came all the way across the country, took time out of her ridiculously busy schedule to come here for one night to honor John Lewis and to sing to you. And the fourth reason is that all of you are here. And that is a joy for us. And all of you are wonderful to share this evening with us and with Congressman Lewis and with Rhiannon. And there are just a couple people I want to mention. Some of them are not quite here yet, but I know they will be here. The Honorable former Mayor Willie Brown will be joining us, so we're very glad to have him here. Our 2013 Thurgood Marshall Awardee, and I want you to give a special round of applause to this man. Judge Felton Henderson is here. Yeah. Speaking of heroes. Thank you for that. That goes right to my heart. We have lots of wonderful folks here. John Burris, I just saw, is here. John, thank you for coming. Bob Harris, who was on the dinner committee that helped create this dinner. Thank you, Bob. Conway Jones is supposed to be, I don't know if he's here yet, but if you saw the bust that's in the lobby, Conway Jones donated that bust. It's going to be turned into a bronze figure of Thurgood Marshall, which will honor John Lewis and go to the, I think it's going to the Thurgood Marshall Federal Judiciary Building. That's where it's going, yeah. So thank you to Conway Jones. Justice Earl Johnson, Jr., thank you for being here. ABA President-to-be Trish Rifo is here somewhere. Trish. Michelle Benke, our treasurer, is here. Mary Smith. Chief Judge Mark Green, are you here somewhere? I believe he's here. And his wife, Judge Karen Green. I want to also single out someone who's been so supportive of our section over the years and who has continued to be supportive now, whose heart is always in the right place and who is always articulate on these issues, Bill Newcomb, who is right over there. Please give a round of applause to Bill Newcomb. Thank you, Bill. A few members of our Board of Governors, and then I promise I'll sit down. Russell Frisbee, Carol Lee Neville, John Rosenberger, Denise Avant, Anthony Barash, Senior Judge Arthur Bennett Sr., Lacey Durham, Cynthia Orr, Lynn Barr, Pauline Weaver, and Ruth Ashley. Oh, also Michelle Mayers, Vice President and General Counsel of the New York Public Library, is here. So thank you all for being here. One last thank you is I want to thank a couple people who were instrumental in this event tonight. I had a dinner committee, and the chairs of that committee helped make this all happen. Jack London. Thank Jack London. Drew Ramey, thank you, Drew. Mark Schickman, John McDonald. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my staff, Paula Shapiro and Ali Kilsgaard, who are heroes, and the amazing Mark Page, who made this all somehow happen. I don't know how he did it. And I want to thank just two people especially. This is just personal for me. Two people have been so helpful to me as past chairs of our section. Professor Miles Link. Professor Link, thank you. And Alicia Frazier, who is near and dear to my heart and is also a past chair. Thank you, Alicia. And the last person I want to thank and welcome is about to be our ABA president. And it's not only do I have so much respect for this woman, but she has a piece of my heart. She's in my heart. I've known her for 30 years, and to paraphrase Bridget Jones, she's one of our best people. She is our top person. She's one of the best people I know, Judy Perry Martinez.
Well, thank you, Will. This association, and I dare say our profession and the public which we serve, has benefited from not only your steadfast leadership, but the clarity of your vision, your commitment to leverage the good in each and every one of us, and your inspiring quest for a more inclusive and a more fair and just society. We all thank you for your service, and we are fortunate, of course, to not only have you at the helm this past year, but to have Wendy and Angela in line to continue the important work, the impactful work of this section. So thanks to all three of you for your leadership. It is truly a privilege that our association honors the legendary Congressman John Lewis this evening. We got a glimpse into Congressman Lewis's life through his book, Walking with the Wind, a favorite of mine. Among other things, it brought home once again how a particular moment in the life of a young person can make a difference so that they can shine a light toward equality for others for years to come. Congressman Lewis describes being at his aunt's house with over a dozen other children playing in her yard when a storm blew up. His aunt gathered them all into the safety of her home as the skies blackened and the wind howled, and as Congressman Lewis describes, the house began to sway, and the wood plank floors began to bend, and the corner of the room started lifting up. And his aunt told the children to hold hands and to hold tightly. She had them walk as a group towards the corner of the house that was rising and then back in the other direction with the wind. And Congressman Lewis took that memory of his childhood with him his entire life. That memory of holding hands and staying together, never running away, and doing the best they could, as he said, moving toward the corners of the house that were the weakest, so that the house could stand. Let us all never, never let go of our sisters and brothers' hands, no matter the storm. We must all walk toward the storm together to see the dawn of a new day of justice and equality. Thank you, Civil Rights and Social Justice Section members and supporters, and on behalf of your American Bar Association and President Carlson, thank you for being such a great part of this moment when we remember a giant among us, Justice Thurgood Marshall, and celebrate our hero tonight, Congressman John Lewis. Because of their courage and leadership, all of us are able to be gathered here, and we will go forward with renewed hope and determination, hand in hand. Thank you very much, and thank you, Will.
So here's what's going to happen. You're all about to have dinner, and you can just enjoy the good food and the good company. But before that happens, I want to leave you with a quote from the mighty and prescient James Baldwin, one of my favorite of his quotes. If you don't know what happened behind you, you have no idea what's happening around you. Tonight you're going to hear from two people who embody that sensibility in my mind. Two people who have a deep and mighty link to what's happened behind us. John Lewis lived the lessons of the past. Rhiannon Giddens sings the lessons of the past. But two people whose most powerful resonance is right now, today. When we're hearing, people are explicitly trading in the virulent American political tradition of race baiting. When we're hearing dog whistles become bullhorns once again. When racism, which is long and always under the floorboards of our American society, is bubbling up into the open. when people complain that the true racists are those who keep talking about race whenever somebody says something racist. So that shows us that we as a country are not so woke, and we need to wake up. And that's what this night is about. We can't understand, much less overcome, what's happening today without understanding the 4th-century legacy of oppression and racism in this country. And not only that, but the kind of history of communal, celebratory racial violence that we have in this country. So we need to hear the voices of John Lewis and Rhiannon Giddens now more than ever. So I hope you will open your ears and your hearts to those messages. And in the meantime, enjoy your dinner, enjoy your friends, and we'll be back in around 9 o'clock or so to talk to you a little bit more and to hear from Congressman Lewis. Thank you so much.